It's time for the Chips and Salsa Show.
The only show about Latinos for Latinos. And did we mention Latinos?
It's the Latísima.
Latinos come in all flavors, shapes, and sizes. You don't have to be Latino to enjoy chips and salsa.
People love chips and salsa.
Welcome to your Chips and Salsa Show. This is Don Jorge Alacran with my co-host, Cheryl Rosado.
Hello. I am here finally back with Don Jorge since he was out doing his election thing. And how did primary day go for you?
It was busy. We clocked in about 5:30. I didn't leave there till 10:30 at night. And it wasn't a lot of people coming in, but it was a steady stream because during the primary, I was there for 28 days and they trickle in, 3, 4, 5, and a lot of people just bringing in their envelopes, some people voting. So we really didn't get the feel until the election day, and it got busy. We did it Monday for emergency voting.
Right. I actually poll observed on Monday for emergency voting, and it was very slow. I believe there were 6 people who came in to vote that day, so it was kind of whatever. But I also felt like there didn't seem to be that many people. I electioneered most of the day on Tuesday, and I didn't really see a ton of people out there voting. I saw a lot of people bringing in their envelopes with them to drop them off that day, but I didn't really see a lot of people. I did, hand out literature and stuff like that, but it seemed like it was pretty quiet overall, actually. At least the voting centers where I was.
Now that on Saturday and Monday, because we were open Saturday, Saturday and Monday, people knew that they had to bring their envelopes in. They started Friday, Saturday, and Monday. They started bringing the envelopes in, and of course Tuesday, because they knew that they couldn't take it to the post office. So the only way that Maricopa would get it right away is to go to one of the polling places.
It's too bad they didn't just wait and vote in person, because those are the ones that they count absolutely last. And when you're in a contested race like I am still, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, how did you do?
I'm still not sure. I have one vote. I don't know. I'm one vote above. There's 3 slots open. I'm in the second slot right now, but I'm only one vote up from the 2 people that are tied for the 3rd slot. So it could change. I don't know. I'm hearing that Maricopa is mostly tabulated, so I really don't know what's going to happen, but it's in God's hands, so we'll see. But I did have a good election day. The hardest part of my election day was actually chips and salsa. We were out there at the voting center. We picked our place. We were super excited. We saw a decent amount of traffic there. And then despite not being listed as a non-electioneering site on the website, they told us that they were a non-electioneering site and they kicked us out. And we tried to tell them, well, we're not electioneering. We're just talking. No, you cannot be here if you're not voting. So they said, go to this other site. It's just up the road, like a mile. So we went to that one and we get all set up. And then they came out and they said, no, we're a non-electioneering site. And I said, we were just told to come here by the election worker. And they said, well, they gave you bad information. So that was sort of discouraging. We finally ended up at the 3rd location, which did let us stay, but it wasn't very busy and we'd already lost a lot of time. We had kind of a hard stop time because we had other things to get to that night. So we didn't get to interview as many people as we would have liked, but it was still a good experience. We're learning, and I'm sure November will be much smoother.
Oh, it's going to be busy in November.
Hopefully.
The lines,
will be nice and busy.
Whatever lines
we'll be able
you
to do lots of exit polling with people, which is really what we wanted to do.
And whatever lines you didn't see in the primary, you're going to see them in the general. I'm just telling you, I know it from experience, and I know that this is going to be a very, very crowded election for the general. So maybe even the 28 days that we're going to be open, it may be crowded. We may get more people than normal. That's kind of questionable because people like to wait to near the end of the 28 days before they start showing up. But it's going to be a very, very crowded election. And
right. And then it was just so crazy. And then we had election day, and then boom, the next day, J.D. Vance came. And it was like this big rally, and I went and I volunteered at that. And I was actually extremely fortunate in that they assigned me an inside job, and I was an usher. So I just got to sort of point people where to go and try, and the fire marshal did chide me a couple times, keep this clear, keep this clear. Okay, I'm keeping it clear, But, and I did get also a little yelled at by Secret Service because I was not provided like anything that said I was a volunteer. So I just looked like a random Trump person bossing other people around, and so Secret Service did come and but it was it was interesting, it was fun. I was really glad that I was able to participate in it. We got to hear Carrie Lake speak and Gina Svoboda, and we of course got to hear from our first time getting to hear JD Vance live, so that was really nice. It was a great building moment, I think, and people seemed pretty excited, pretty jazzed. I made a lot of contacts there, including someone hopefully who will be coming up on the show soon. I will tell you guys about that later. But before we launch into the show, I did also want to say thank you to our sponsor for today's show. It is Pure 5 Extraction, and we are so grateful to have a sponsor to help us with our show, to get everything smooth and rolling, and we appreciate you so much. So thank you, guys. Check them out if you're interested. And let's launch into the show, which is, and you might be able to see from my pins right here.
Well, before you do that, I just want to congratulate Carrie Lake, Sheridan, Justin Heap, and Shelly Boggs, and all the other ones that came in first
all the
place.
Victors.
All the winners, and it's going to be a
Jeff
heck of
Sink, and Kelly Cooper, and Paul Gosar. And Andy Biggs. I mean, I don't think Biggs had an opponent, but yeah.
Okay, now we can introduce
but yeah,
our guest.
so back to my pins, these are the RNC pins. This one is from 2016. This one is this year's 2024 that I was gifted. And here to tell us all about this stuff are two national delegates to the convention, Jeremiah Cota and Nathan Jackson. So guys, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Cheryl, and Jorge, and also Chips and Salsa. So thanks for having us. We're happy to do a tell-all for what happened at RNC.
Yes, that's what I was hoping for, an RNC tell-all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I'm excited to be here, and thank you, Jorge, and thank you, Cheryl. So.
Yeah, so you guys were delegates. Tell me, how many delegates were there? How long was the convention? Like, give me the basic details like that for people who might not be all into it.
So we had 43 delegates, right?
43 delegates, and then 40 alternate delegates.
And
Wow.
that
Total
was
roughly 83.
So you only
Right,
have
43.
40 alternates?
Yeah, so how it works is there's 40 delegates. The chair, the national committeeman, national committeewoman are the three.
Oh, okay.
So there was 40 alternate delegates, and then 43 delegates.
right, because there's no alternates for the
There's
no alternates
the
for the
chair
chair,
and the national committeeman
would-
positions.
correct.
Okay.
Correct. So there's a good number of us, and then plus the people who actually went from our delegation in Arizona, usually spouses, significant others, family,
Guests.
friends, guests. So it actually ends up being there's probably at least 200 people almost by the time you count everyone
Wow.
in, just from Arizona alone. So
Did you guys all get to stay at the same hotel?
some of us were all in the same hotel. Some decided, or some were in a different hotel. It just kind of depends on where the RNC puts us. Luckily, we were fairly close
Nice.
to the convention. So unlike other states, we weren't like an hour away. So that was
Were
nice.
people really that far away?
Yes.
And
further.
some were like 3-4 hours away. We were lucky to only be 15 minutes away.
Oh my goodness.
Where
that's good.
the shuttle bus would just take us straight there. So it was we were lucky.
I did hear, that some
it's-
people Ubered it.
I liken it to being a little bit like going to summer camp for a week. We
Republican
were
summer
roomies.
camp.
Me and Nathan were roomies.
Yeah.
Like it's like going to
Fun.
like a church camp for a week. You're kind of like on the go. You get on the bus. You have activities all day, and then you have your big convention speeches at night. But it's a complete blast. This was a historic event. I don't think obviously no one foresaw what was going to happen to Donald Trump. Just a week before, and then we're all there, and he's there, and it's just a super historic event. I think very moving too for a lot of the people who were in that room. We saw a different man on that stage than a lot of people have seen before. So that was the big takeaway for me. But
Yeah, I mean it's a week long, so we all get there roughly Saturday, Sunday, and then Sunday we had what was that event? I think it was the let's see.
Like a welcome dinner.
It was like a welcome
party
thrown by the RNC for all the delegates. So that's like the first day you get to meet like all the people from different states.
So that was
It was super cool. And then Monday is like the first day that it actually starts, and then it goes through Thursday.
Right, it goes through Thursday.
Thursday, and then Friday is like I left
send off.
Yeah, send off. I left Saturday, so I had Friday to kind of like see Milwaukee for itself and look at different places. So
Yeah,
did they have the room where all the delegates at the hotel at night they kind of get together and
yeah.
little
we had a
champagne?
restaurant in our hotel, so that's
that
where
was your meeting, the watering hole?
That was where we ended up. Our delegation basically had a breakfast together every morning.
Yes.
So we would get credentialed every morning. We would start in a prayer and breakfast every morning. We had Congresswoman Lesko there to come speak to our delegation. She was actually there the entire time.
Yeah.
So she was with the delegation, just
I
participating.
heard that she like sponsored the breakfast. or something?
She did, and
Aw, that's so sweet.
SRP sometimes sponsors the breakfast.
correct.
Yeah,
correct.
we had a lot of sponsors. We had I think Abe, Carrie Lake, Blake.
Congressman
thank you, guys.
Gosar, Congressman Biggs also sponsored.
A lot
Thank
of our
you to all of
congressional
those people for
delegation.
taking care of our delegates. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Not just them, we do too.
Congressman Crane came and spoke to our delegation in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we get transported on the bus because the RNC likes to make sure we all arrive together and we stick
Two buses
together.
or one bus?
So there was multiple buses, but I believe there was at least two for ours.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
at least two.
There may have been three.
Because we had
Was it-
72.
Did the alternates go as well?
Yeah,
Okay, not
all
just,
guests, family, alternates, delegates, everybody got together. So
Yeah.
I mean, it was sometimes I think it would take three
You
buses.
might have three.
It's
'cause,
like camp.
Yeah, I think we had like three in 2016. But yeah, I like your every day they get a credential, and where's your
Well, let's go
We're-
with
we're-
first the signs because we want
Okay,
to look
let-
at the big
let-
stuff.
let's-
So-
let's
oh,
do-
wait. First, I want to see your jacket. I
Okay.
heard about these jackets.
All right. So
I
these
saw them online.
these were the jackets that most of our delegation wore.
Love
They
it.
are
Love it.
Trump bound every round. So there was some point in contention with these jackets, mainly because some people were concerned. But obviously Trump won with flying colors. I mean, no one was
Yeah.
really going to, except there might have been a few out there. I don't know.
Why were they concerned?
But well, just I think maybe from 2016, because what happened in 2016 with
Well, yeah.
the nomination between Trump and
Cruz.
Cruz and just
Yeah.
some of the delegation not fully on board, I guess. But I mean,
I feel like not only 2016, but also because it had. I mean, it took Nikki forever to like the contention
Correct.
was there. It was
Correct.
definitely there.
there was some
I
Nikki Haley
understand. Can I
supporters
see-
there too, so we can
There
say
were.
that.
Oh
There
yeah, you showed me a picture
Yeah,
of
I-
somebody that had a hat.
right in front of our delegation. So
Ooh, this is nice, and it's got the state there, so beautiful on both arms.
all right, and
And
Yeah.
then the alternate said Arizona alternate.
correct.
Yeah.
Aw, I like that.
Oh,
What
this
a
one
great
says delegate on it.
Yeah, what a great memento.
I like it.
I think it would have been so cool just because I saw like all of Texas wearing hats and like when they were all, the delegation was all wearing like a lot of matchy stuff. I dug it. I was corny as it is, loved it.
We had a schedule of the week, so I think the first day was Arizona Day, so everyone dresses in Arizona, the colors or copper. The second day was USA Day.
I thought it was Western Day.
Was it Western Day?
Oh.
Western Day, so we dressed like, Arizona
Did they
cowboy
I was
boots,
just
gonna say, I
jeans,
couldn't
regular.
tell.
Did they tell you ahead of time so you could bring it
Arizona's
on?
so Western
they let us
anyway.
know ahead of time, and
So
said,
you
hey, these are, recommended, for all of us. We're all in cohesion. We all look the same.
Yeah.
I think that a theme day is definitely lend to the camp vibe.
Yes. Well, it was good to, when like you said, Texas has the cowboy hats. So everyone knows, okay, that's Texas. Arizona, I feel like, we're more Western than Texas, but, some people might say not. I mean, we have Tombstone,
Yeah.
the town too tough to die. So I think we're more cowboy Western than Texas.
I didn't
I'm
like
just gonna
that
put it out there.
cheesehead group, the ones with the cheese.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I got to wear one of their
I'm a
hats.
hashtag never cheesehead, so
Okay.
I actually really like the cheese heads. I mean,
And
They
then
were-
the
they
other
were-
ones
they were
had construction hats. Those are from
I think those are probably from Michigan, maybe, where the steel, where they make. I think that's.
Maybe
Wasn't it?
I have no idea. I didn't actually see this.
I feel like I saw it. It was like maybe Virginia. It was something about mining.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was like Virginia.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
We did have some of our delegation did. So these were the Arizona Young Republicans. So we had a special
Loves
jersey made.
it. I
Team
love
Trump.
baseball style.
Did you have it made
Tee.
there at the?
No, so we had these made before. Thanks,
you just took 'em?
Senator Hoffman helped us put this together.
Awesome.
And
Looks like Diamondbacks, right?
so we kind of got confused with Arkansas because Arkansas basically had the same kind of
Idea.
Yeah, so
They had
people,
baseball?
People, yeah, and we were sitting right next to each other too. So that was
Ours looked better, obviously.
Of course.
yeah.
I'm sure our delegates were better looking too. So
Yeah,
of course.
I bet. So
Yeah.
and we also had each. I don't know if some of our districts, because delegates are elected either at large statewide or through
By
your
CD.
congressional district. So my congressional district, we had a shirt made just for our
CD?
congressional district.
I love it. I love
So we
it.
can represent. I wore this in the airport, traveling both ways, and
Loves it.
you got the
I
Trump
love it.
2024.
And
so.
also,
Didn't they
George and
give-
I are both CD3 as well. So that's
Yes.
like it represents.
There's a lot of
chips
us
and
in there.
salsa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't
So-
they give you T-shirts as part of the
Swag.
swag? Because they give you a big bag.
We got a
sometimes
book.
too.
Yeah, I think we got a book and a couple like
Water
knickknacks and water bottles and another bag, a clear bag, because you can only bring. After what happened on Saturday, they're very strict with Secret Service, and we were only allowed to bring in the clear bags
From the hotel.
from the hotel
So,
to the.
What does it look like? Because I know we had one too. Yeah, it's about the same thing we had. We just put more stickers on it, and because they gave you all kinds of stickers, and we had stickers.
That's
all.
cute.
Yeah, those are
Kinda-
nice.
Super
I feel
super
like
cool
that's,
bag.
That's the 90s in me, like loving the
Oh,
clear
and it had
bag.
your name on. Oh.
It had the Milwaukee where it's at, the host of
Okay.
the convention.
MKE.
Super
That's
cool.
I like it. So-
And what else did we? They give us, every day. So there's this thing called. Well, I guess we'll talk about the Science X. So there are exclusive signs that they give out to the RNs to us there. This isn't necessarily exclusive, but this is like probably one of my favorite ones is Fire Joe Biden.
Yeah.
But obviously, like
We were successful.
I mean, we did. I mean, who knew? Like just a week later, we would. These are going to be collectible because think about it. Like
You can
Yeah.
only.
you can only these are only made this one time now. So
Right, yeah.
stop Biden's border bloodbath. I mean,
Yes.
Kamala's are. We can just change out the name. It still applies.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's behind, supporting Biden stuff, so it's still the same.
This one got some headlines out there too.
Definitely
for people.
I definitely saw that one there.
Yeah, so people were getting, I don't know, maybe the weak ones were
They
squishing
were a little
out.
salty about that one, squishing out.
I mean, this is just a nice America first means
Americans
means
first.
Americans first.
I like that one.
Tough on China. That's actually one of my favorite ones too.
Yeah.
I like that one. I wish it
That
was
one's
spelled
super
like
cool.
China, but I'll take it.
That's like we got Trump equals prosperity, Biden equals inflation. Again, we're gonna have to
Update that one.
update it. Lower
Yes.
prices now.
That's the one right there.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Let's look if I have one. I do not have it with me, but I have a make housing affordable again, which is pretty
Oh,
popular.
yes.
I like that one.
Yeah.
And then this is also probably one of the Trump Vans
Trump
ones.
Vans.
Yay.
This is a
Trump Vans.
Nice.
That's a good one.
and back to blue.
I got
Back to blue. I like
a
that.
blue version of that, a blue and red version of the Trump
Vans.
Vans at
Yeah.
the rally. But I saw a couple of those white ones, but the most of them said like the white one said "swamp the vote."
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not as cute. I'll just take the blue and the red Trump Vans. And thankfully, I was afraid because, like I said, because I wasn't sure they weren't going to let me have signs, but they did. So thank you,
and
thank you, the campaign.
And then each day they basically we do this thing called, I guess for people who've gone before, you could do trading pins with other states. So every state, Nathan is wearing his right there.
Arizona.
So that is the
Kinda
Arizona
hard to see.
state delegate pin.
I think because your shirt is
It's
white.
a nice
white.
little
It's a nice
sun.
like sun design.
yeah, our chairwoman designed it. Gina designed it. I think it was
Does
really.
the chair always design them?
I don't know. I know that she designed this one. I love it. This was like the best one at the convention. Everybody wanted this
it
one.
was the
Yeah.
most popular one. It was like trade. It was It was like trading.
It was
You
pin
can trade
gold.
2 for 1.
Exactly.
Oh, well, yeah, a lot of times we did that. It was so.
I'll see you. I'll see your Georgia and Texas if you give me your
Yeah,
Arizona.
Yeah.
How's that
a little
sound?
one like this, I'll trade you
Let
3
me see.
for
That one.
That one is Nevada, and there's apparently
New Mexico. Look at
So the Nevada one's a little interesting because they have an official pin, and then the one that you have in your hand, Cheryl, is an unofficial pin.
Okay.
Because it has a working girl.
Yes.
If you can see it, there's a working girl on
my
there. We're
children
supporting,
are here as podcast
yeah.
assistants, so it's a woman of the night.
Yeah.
Is how we will
We
describe
support
that.
We're supporting working women. How about that?
Yes.
So that one is a little bit on the scandalous side, and we'll that one's gonna be a
Yeah,
nice
'cause-
moment, like a nice souvenir for someone to share with their
This one,
family. And
you got to tell them
kids.
about the Hawaii. The Hawaii one was hard to get, but it's also tell them your experience on getting the Hawaii one.
Oh, they wear lays, and then when you get a
Lays?
pin, like the lay,
Okay.
the flower,
Yeah.
the flower lay, and they lay you.
Yeah, they do the.
Oh,
They put
it's
the,
like
and it's real. It's
yeah.
real. It's not like
No, it's
the
the
plastic
actual
ones,
flowers.
the actual flowers.
Yeah, those are the
and then-
hibiscus and the plumeria.
Yeah, and then they take a picture with you. They give it to you. I was unfortunate.
I
did not receive one.
I got
You
one.
didn't get laid. I'm sorry.
I received one.
I want to see. I'm so glad you did.
It doesn't last though. It doesn't last.
No.
Just
Yeah,
Well,
some of these are pretty nice,
it's a big convention, and not everyone can get laid, Nate. So
There was also, I think, Georgia. This one was another cool one, because in the beginning they started like really handing these out, and then towards the end, I think on the last day we were on the bus with Georgia on our way back from the Southern States Fest, which was this event here, and they had ran out, so they did
they printed more. Or?
No, they did a auction, and I think some of these
Oh.
sold for $5,000 to $3,000 just for 1, 2, 3, 4
Wow.
pins.
Crazy.
And it was more of like a fundraiser to pay for the delegates and all that that's
All right,
going to be
let's look
there.
at that.
But once we heard that, then it became really,
Yeah.
everyone wanted these.
I really like this Alaska one. I like because like you can never get a feel for how big Alaska is.
No.
So this is pretty genius. Like I at first I was like, why is there a whole like America? But I mean, here, put it so we can show it on camera. It is Alaska like superimposed inside like the how do you say contiguous United States. So you can see just how big the state of Alaska is. That is amazing. Is that New Mexico?
It's so
This
small.
is super. Yes.
And some states didn't
Alice
have
Lada, what's up?
they didn't
This
they didn't
is
have
sort of-
delegation pins.
Oh.
really?
I don't remember what states did or didn't, but a
Show
lot of states
some-
didn't. This one was the biggest. This one was Oregon. I think this was the most common one. It was the biggest one and
Really?
the most common one. Yeah, a lot of people
That
had
was,
these.
I really like it. It's red.
one
It's
over
got the elephant.
That's a great.
It has like a little
And then
banner on the bottom.
These, too.
these ones were super cool. This was Washington. This was their Bigfoot edition. They had they had different ones. They had like
Oh, that's cool.
they had like 3 different ones that you could collect. This
They
one
had
was
a
the Bigfoot
coffee
edition.
cup and like
That's cool.
a little. There was some.
California.
The Texas one.
Yeah, California. This one here. This one was hard to get, and
They were only given one.
they
or
were only
something.
given one as a delegation. So
So
that
you-
means
What?
some person
You-
from California
you had
doesn't
to-
have their own pin.
You had to be.
Wow.
So
You had to really like finagle one.
yeah, it was super cool.
They were sitting
like it.
They
I
were
like
sitting.
it.
They sat right next to us, and like you could never get a pin from them either. 'Cause,
Yeah,
no one
Okay,
had
here,
any.
show the Texas one. I don't really like this look of that style of pin. I really, I like our pin. That's why I like. I don't remember what state did you say this one was?
Oregon.
Oregon. I like this. This to me is a good, solid pin. But that Texas one, it looks kind of cheap. Hashtag no offense.
Then they
Texas,
had
but-
these ones were cool. So this was Massachusetts.
Maggot juice.
That's
Massachusetts.
cute. I love it.
So it was a license plate.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I think this Georgia one is nice also. Yeah. Like that's
There's
like a good
Connecticut.
style pin.
Connecticut. Yeah, they had different ones as well. This one's a pizza one.
Pizza?
Pizza.
Because Connecticut is very known for their pizza. Maybe they're just pizza
I don't know.
lovers.
Oh, and this one was super cool. This one's Idaho. It's a potato.
Yes.
I don't know if this is their official one. It might be, might not be.
But you know what?
Super cool.
I give them kudos for being a potato because it should. Because when we watched the first night and Idaho spoke, like we all said, like, "What? No mention of potato here." Did you? I don't think you showed the Hawaii one in the. And that one is nice, but it's not my favorite either. That style of
Colorado.
Yeah, here I like the color. I like these license plate looking ones.
Yeah. Oh, this one's Colorado. Yep, another license plate.
Maybe. I do like it. It's not super, imaginative,
it's easy to
but
see,
at the
though.
same time, yeah, it's easy to see. And it makes
I
me
can
think
see
like
why they liked ours.
no wonder Gary used that.
This is the one in
And then,
2016, and it was all copper.
Montana's on there.
So we have Montana,
Pennsylvania.
Show those.
Pennsylvania. So we
Minnesota.
have. So usually we have these around our neck, and then you put a lot of these pins on here, right? If you want to trade, and then you go, walking around, and people see them, and be like, hey, I'll trade you,
Because they. Huh?
Georgia for Arizona or so forth.
And by the end of the week, your neck's hurting, so you just end up wearing the one pins you want to trade.
Yeah.
Because it gets heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had them.
How
all.
many pins did you have to start off with? Can you show the Arizona one? Because I don't think you showed that one up close.
So we only start off with our own pins, so Arizona, then.
But how many did you have?
So they all gave us one pin.
One.
And
They
then
gave us 10.
if you want to purchase extras, you can. So we were allowed to purchase them.
How much was it?
Maybe they were $10.
Yeah, and then
that's how.
and then I think it went up more as demand.
per pin.
Yeah.
Demand went up.
Oh.
As demand went up, it went up more. So what I actually did was purchase just generic Trump pins. That were like
this?
just a couple dollars. Yeah.
Okay, because I really like this one.
I just traded my Trump pins off.
Nice.
So
That's
And
genius.
They were $10. And
See,
that was.
it is a tell-all. You get the hacks for the next convention.
Yes, yeah. So you don't.
Which
you
I
don't,
will be running for Vote Cheryl 2024.
You just got to have some cool looking pins that people want.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm going
And
to.
then you go around.
Can we please
be
show
friends.
the Delegate Freedom Medal there?
Oh yeah, so
Yes.
all of us get these delegate medals. So blue is for delegate, and you'll get a little pass or little.
And the red is for.
Red is for alternate.
Okay, so I was gonna ask that. Were the alternate ones different?
Yes.
So that's really cool. I don't think I've ever had a pin that style myself, and I think that's really.
And I was looking at the
really
2016 or 2020 ones. They're a little different. They had like red, white, and blue or different ones. I have an old Barry Goldwater one, and it's exact same color and exact same design and everything. So it's super cool from the 60s.
They look like service medals.
Yeah.
Kind of.
They really do, and
Yeah.
I mean, you did a service to your.
And then
party.
we have
Yeah, I wanted to show this one. Is this the one that has all access?
no these ones here.
Bus
So
pass.
so each day we credentialed in and we got our delegate passes. So this here was what we would get, and that would let us go into the convention.
Which is that one? Let me see.
That's Monday.
These are
so you
regular
got one-
Mondays, and we got one
Monday.
for each day: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then our last day here on the table.
Every morning.
Those
we-
are really
Every
oh,
morning.
So they didn't give them to you like when you check in. You had to you were issued them
we,
by day.
By
our,
day.
our
In the morning.
credentials were starting at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I believe every morning.
Every
You
morning.
credentialed every morning.
Every
Yep.
morning we
By showing your
credential,
ID
showing
and
our,
everything.
showing our
ID.
ID, and then we get handed our credential badge for the day.
And then these were some of the events that the party were a part of. So the first day, so now I have them. Oh no, this is the first day. This is
Oh,
July
yeah.
14th.
They were like
I
big,
saw that one, the red, white, and blue.
They were basically big sponsor lunches.
Yeah,
or-
this is
or
the one
something.
where all of
Fun.
us
Mixers.
went. We had a good time. You could meet all the delegates. We had the concert. There was some country singers there.
Oh yeah. I saw it online.
Jason Aldean.
Yeah,
I
Jason
didn't-
Aldean and
missed him.
a bunch of other people. I think the speaker was there. A bunch of people, and just it's funny when you're there and you see like all these congressmen, senators, or people that we all know that are just wandering around, just walking like normal people in this little area. So that was, I think, Sunday.
Red, white, and blue was Sunday night when we
Sunday.
when people were arriving in.
Then
That's
Monday
correct.
we kind of had our first day. We go to the convention. It was our first day seeing everything, kind of knowing the lay of the land, how everything's going. It was like the Pfizer Forum is
That's
like
when
a
I saw
four-story.
you like on C-SPAN,
first-
right?
yeah,
and we
the
waved at it. He was like taking a picture of the camera, and I took a picture of him like at my house on the TV, and it looks like we're
And the
taking.
Yeah.
first day is like the busiest day, I think, because it's the most official business that we actually do. Because it
Yeah.
is technically an official meeting So it's an actual business meeting. So you get gavelled in.
Yep.
There's a gavel to the start. There's a prayer. There's a pledge. It's like going to your state convention meeting.
Yep.
And then we do our roll call vote.
Yep.
And there's credentials, and then we do the nominations. I didn't know they were going to start that quickly. I was a little surprised how quickly it started.
We did it pretty fast. It was the first day was the convention, the start of the meeting. We voted on the rules, the platform, the credentials, all of the committees to start the meeting. And it was just
like we start rolling right into
and then it just started going through the roll call of the states.
It was pretty. So it's anticipating because you're on the floor, and then they start going state by state, and each state their delegation chair nominates, pledges their nominees, their delegates to the nominee.
Who was our?
So our delegation
Bush.
chair was Shelby Bush. So she made that announcement from Congressional District 3, by the way. So she's
so
well
much
represented,
CD3, I
right?
love it.
And she, alongside with Gina, were able to announce that we were pledging our delegates, and then they go around the entire floor and they go state by state by state. There's kind of an order that they do it to, but I don't quite know exactly what the order is.
I think it's how we enter the union. So I think it's
not quite, because we weren't last.
Well, we aren't the last state.
Well, there was
But we
more.
weren't. There were like
there was
a
others
good
behind
10
us.
or 15.
Was there?
behind us.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they have a process of how they go through. It might have been the rows.
I mean, part of it was like because Florida got to do the actual securing of the nominee. If you watched it, Florida was the one that put Trump over the edge, and obviously
which made sense because his
family's
was
there.
Yeah.
Like, so there's kind of there's a plan to this, and
there's a method to the madness. We just haven't deciphered it.
Yeah. We haven't quite deciphered it, but I thought it was an incredible time. And they go state by state, and you're like looking, and you're like waiting, and then it's coming up to you because all these cameras show up right at your delegation.
Yeah.
There's a ton of media that show up right there, and that's when you know it's go time for you.
Go time.
Yeah.
And then
I saw you. You were on camera, Jeremiah.
Well, thank you.
I did see you.
I was in the back.
You were in the back. There's pictures with both of you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that I got to see.
Aren't the seats that have your names on them?
No. It had our state.
Just our state.
But not our names, because we were moving in around.
Yeah,
and I saw you guys had your little VIP corner as well.
Oh,
we
the
did,
VIP corner.
Or VIP lounge.
We can talk about
the VIP lounge. That's what it was
the
called.
VIP lounge was a nice little spot in the back that we had full access to as our state.
Yeah,
it was super cool because
exclusives always great.
All of the we had congressmen, senators come by and be like, "Can we stop and take a break with you guys?" We're like, "Yeah, sure." So they were in the back with us, talking to us, while other people, are rushing to take photos with them. They had a chance to just sit down and actually have a normal conversation with us without having to ask for pictures or anything.
We made fun of it by putting a little sign that says Arizona's VIP Lounge, and
right.
people
I saw
bought
that
into
on
it.
Twitter.
Yeah. So, but our delegate, we were kind of seen in the back area, but
lemonade out of lemons.
We had lots of media where we were like, I was a little actually annoyed by the media because they were swarming everywhere where we were at. But they were everywhere. But we happened to be like right in media central, I think.
Media row.
Because I saw Fox News right behind you.
Fox News was right behind us.
Fox, Newsmax, a bunch of the news outlets were all near us.
What about the delegates? Were they right behind the alternates? Were they right above you guys? Because
so
2016 we were right above the Arizona.
There wasn't direct seating right behind us, I don't think, because it was media. There was a media thing, so they were
kind of a little cat-a-corner to us,
right?
Sitting in that area.
Right. Could you see them? Or not
I
quite?
could wave to them, kind of.
Yeah,
they could see us.
They could see us.
Yeah, because when certain musicians would get on there, and everybody would be up there
dancing.
Only the alternates were up there, or the guests could be there as well.
Alternates and guests.
Alternates and guests. Okay.
And I think it's alternates and the guests are in a different section. I don't know.
Well, that's how we were. We had the alternates. And also the guests.
So
I think it was alternate and guests.
Okay,
from what I saw.
so I just received official word from an actual guest that the alternates and the guests were separate. But they were both there. They were just separate.
Okay.
That's different.
So. And I heard before the convention that there was a time when they would let the delegates or the alternates down on the floor. Did they do that or no?
On the second day or the third day?
I don't know if there was like an official trading off of alternates and alternates and delegates, but some of us got to trade people out. So it was kind of like coordinate with your your congressional, whoever you're the alternate for. I think that was kind of what happened there. So
did you switch out with anyone at
I
all?
did. I switched out with the other alternates in my congressional.
And you can give them 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. Go down there, and usually it was about an hour, hour and a half.
Right.
Then they had to come back and switch off the credentials.
Right, and that's kind of your break to not have
the media in your face,
swarming around
smiling
you
the whole time.
So what were those?
Exactly.
So these were other events that we had. So this was Tuesday. We had barbecue, bikes, and blues with the Western States. It was at the Harley Davidson Museum, which was super, super cool.
Cool.
We had a couple speakers there.
I think sponsored by Carrie Lake too, by the way.
I think so. Yeah. She was
very,
there,
very generous.
Walking around, taking photos with people, talking to people. I think who else was the NRSC chairman was there. He was speaking. Donald Trump Jr. was there. So it was super cool. See all the bikes. It was pretty cool. And then the next day on Wednesday we had the Southern States Fest at the ballpark. So
does that mean only Southern states were invited?
I wonder
or you
if
celebrated Southern states?
I don't know which Southern states were actually all there, and I'm kind of surprised we're in Southern states, but
well, I think Arizona was there, Georgia, Florida,
all those south of the Mason-Dixon line. It sounds like
Yeah, I think some of them were Southern, some of them might have not been. I don't know. It was super cool. We got our name on so there's no baseball game. A lot of people thought it was a baseball game. It wasn't a baseball game. The field's open, the whole stadium's open, and you can walk around, see the stadium for itself, go onto the field. They had who the sponsors were for each state. There was like this little sign, so every I think it was 5 minutes, we timed it to try to take a photo right when the Arizona Republican Party would come up. So we tried to take a photo.
That's when we wore our Trump jerseys.
Yep.
Oh.
So that was kind of in coordination with that day.
Yep. We had all the speakers. So we had Ron DeSantis, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Glenn Youngkin, Brian Kemp.
All the governors.
All the governors of all
Right.
the states speaking. We had Lee Greenwald there singing as well. It was super
Is
cool.
this how you actually wore it, like the last day?
Correct.
And you had like your bus pass
Correct.
behind it?
And you had to have those at all
Come on, city bus
times.
pass.
Yeah,
the bus pass was important.
they would check that bus pass.
Yes, because sometimes we would go on our way home. We stopped at 2 hotels, right? I think we had Oklahoma with
for
us.
the meet and greets and stuff.
Oklahoma and Arizona. So they drop off Oklahoma first,
Oh.
and then they would take us. We were close by each other.
Yeah, the bus. So the RNC they make sure you're a delegate. You are on that bus.
Yeah.
And you move to the convention together, and then you move away. I assume there's a lot of liability issues with this. So, but and if you don't take the bus, you can take an Uber, which is interesting too, because the Uber you're in the perimeter is what they called it. Like, is it inside the perimeter? So it's literally probably at least a mile and a half.
Yeah, so to
around
give
the
some
convention.
perspective, so the whole convention, I think a mile and a half was cut off. Like, they had barricades, blocks. You could not get in. It was kind of like a ghost town all around.
They call it the perimeter.
Yeah, the perimeter. So that way no one could be able to come in, issues.
Unless you were supposed to be there and you had a badge. Or you were a guest or press or something.
Then you would go through. There was different checkpoints where you could either walk through. A couple times our buses got lost.
Right, and it's all Secret Service too. It is all Secret Service. Police. You see snipers on all the rooftops around you.
Fun, good time.
So there's they call it the perimeter. Like, is it outside the perimeter or inside the perimeter?
Yeah.
So it's a little Hunger Gamesy. You
Yes.
know, so.
We went from camp to Hunger Games. Like that.
You know, what district are you from too? So. But anyways, so you go inside the perimeter. The reason why I was bringing that up is because if you were taking Uber, you actually have to walk outside the perimeter. But when you get outside the perimeter, there's actually security that walks with you up to your Uber until you get into your Uber. It's pretty wild. So because
so even with
you're a delegate.
the whole assassination attempt, you guys felt safe there.
Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely. It was very safe.
After the day when there was the assassination attempt, did you feel any type of way about going to convention?
So I was already there.
Rooftops.
I was already there.
What was the vibe there?
So I was
then?
at a baseball game. So we were at a baseball game, and I'm walking and we're on our way out. And I'm looking through Twitter, and I think everyone's on Twitter at some point. And I'm going through and scrolling. It's like it was just a random tweet like President Trump has been shot. And then I'm like scrolling through. There's never service in a baseball game. All right. So I'm scrolling through and it's like nothing's loading. I'm like, what is going on? So then I let the chairwoman know. I'm like, hey, president's been shot. And then we're like, okay, I think it's time for us to go back to the hotel. So we rush to an Uber and then get back to the hotel because we weren't sure. We
couldn't get any information.
We couldn't get any information. And, we're at a baseball game. Who knows if there's something else going on? They know the convention is happening. They know there's other people. I mean, it was a surreal moment. I mean, you don't know. Anything could happen. It was, felt weird. It was a weird day. And then we find out more information. We know he's okay, and it was good that the president was okay.
I a little off when you first hear that news. That's definitely, it hits you in the gut. So
yeah.
But I mean, my jacket was Trump bound every round. I was pretty dedicated to see this through. So I was.
We elected the right guy.
Yeah, we were dedicated. I was like, oh, if he can take a bullet, I'm sure I can. The least I can do is show up.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
What about
and you were there early because you were on a committee.
Yes,
is that correct?
I was on the rules committee. So there's two.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So how it works is a lot of people don't know. So
Sounds
the
boring,
delegation
but
chair. Yes. The delegation chair. The rules committee. There's 2 people per committee from the state. So there's a man and a woman on the rules committee, man and woman on the platform committee, man and woman on the permanent something. I forgot what it is called. There's three committees.
There was a
credentials, platform, rules, and something else. So 4 committees, and then your delegation chair. The delegates.
There's what's it called? Permanent organization or something.
Yeah, permanent organization committee.
It's like all the.
Sounds interesting.
It's all the stuff they do.
Yeah. So there's those 4 committees, and then your delegation chair. Those are all voted on prior to us going there.
And who was on the rules committee?
It was myself and the chairwoman. So we got there. Each committee is on different days. We're there a couple days prior, depending on what committee. Some committees, I think the platform committee was there like on Monday. I got there on Wednesday. Ours is pretty easy. Thursday and Friday was our meeting. Went through the rules pretty quick. I mean, it was all of the committees had chairmen that were selected by the president. So each committee had people that the president had selected as the chair, and then he had a lot to do with the platform, the rules. A lot of what we did
was his input.
Specifically on the platform as well. I know there was a lot of contention about it. President Trump was on there. He tweeted it out. So all of that, it was pretty boring. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a great experience, but it's like in the state party where we have these committees or rules. It's 2 people. We vote on the rules, how the process of the convention is going to go. It's also the rules for the party for the next 4 years.
At least we know the names of who's on these committees, because committees and state party, it seems like we never get to figure out who votes no. You know how that works out. But
yeah, so we had the committees.
Transparency up in here.
And then once the committees are done, you're kind of like free. It was within the area. It was closer to the forum, so we were within the perimeter.
So they didn't have necessarily activities for you like they had.
No, it was we were on our own. We were on our own. We'd meet different people that were on the committees. But that's pretty much it. It's nothing too exciting, nothing too fun.
And the delegates get to vote for the committee, our committees that we send. So we vote for who we send as a delegation. So we actually
same as you voted for the delegation chair.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the delegates we met before. What was it, a week before? Actually, no, it was actually a while. It was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, it was a week
right.
after. I think it was a week after our state convention. When we knew who all the delegates were. I think a week, right? Or maybe two weeks?
Maybe two.
I think I'm going to say 2 weeks.
But it was say May.
Right.
So it's in May.
Let's just say
yeah.
May.
Let's just say May.
So that happens. So a lot of people wonder, like, how do you get to speak and announce? A lot of people, it was majority of us, I think it was their first time. I think we had maybe like 2 or 3 people that have done it before.
Like
maybe.
Senator Kern, he had done it before.
I think, and him and... I can't think of anybody else.
There was a few others who had been there before. I know Chris Morrissey had been there before.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lori Corbin Klein and Tyler Boyer. But those were, people have done this before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us...
there was a handful of veterans, but it was mostly
new. So a lot of us didn't know, what does it mean to be on the rules? What does it mean to be delegation chair? What is, all these things. So once we got there, we do know, but later on. But at the beginning, you don't really know what it's about. So then once that happened, we did all that. We selected our people that we were going to go on the committees. They're there a week prior, and then they kind of like roll into. We go from being inside the perimeter to outside the perimeter, 15 minutes away from our hotel.
Now, what did it look like when you saw delegates with that?
With
the Nelly band. I mean
Yes.
the Trump badge.
I thought that was kind of silly, but
I found it was relief. I mean, I thought it was they were showing solidarity with the president, so I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah,
it was funny. Like,
it was funny.
I mean,
I think it might to think of what could have been. It was nice to be able to just have a lighthearted.
There was some people who I know didn't like it, and I was like, look, just.
Yeah.
It doesn't
It's not
matter at the
hurting
end of the day.
anyone.
Exactly.
it's not hurting.
It'd be a
our
poop
people?
Smith. It's fine.
There was it started to like spread out too, so it was just our delegation.
It did start in our
and then I
delegation,
saw
right?
people in
Yeah.
Texas
Yeah.
doing it,
But actually,
and then
not
other,
CD3 this time.
No,
But
no.
it did start in our
Yeah,
delegation.
Yeah, no, it was not our it was not CD3. So then they were giving us like little ear flags to put on our ears the last day. Like it was all over by the last day, which was interesting because it got a lot of media attention. So a lot of people got to interview, which I actually sometimes the media isn't always friendly, but I thought they were reporting about Arizona and what Trump is doing to win voters here. So in some ways, you know what, I thought it was kind of a win. So.
Right.
there you go.
I think if they're giving you attention that's not negative, then we'll take that as a win.
So-
But also, we're Arizona. We always get the attention. So if we would have went and not got any attention, I would have been very surprised.
Yeah, they treat us VIPs well. So.
Yes. I think it was a great experience. We especially with the media that came by and talked to us. We had a couple from Arizona talking about us being Hispanics, what we see that's going to happen with
Our
Arizona
favorite,
being
the Arizona Republic was there.
Yeah, the Arizona Republic, Washington Post. A lot of them came and talked to us on what we see as being Hispanics, being a part of the delegation. What do we think? And Arizona being a battleground state, what do we think? Voters. How we're representing them and what we feel is going to happen in the election cycle.
Okay, we have a couple of minutes, Eric. You're a member at large.
Correct.
High five, CD3 members at large.
And then
That's us.
you're with the state.
I used to be with the state. Yes, I used to be the former vice chairman for the state. I'm no
Vice
longer.
chairman.
Now I'm just a regular PC state committeeman.
Will you run for something next time? Maybe?
Probably
Give us
not.
the scoop.
Probably not. I liked my experience.
break.
I think I'm going to focus on work and still
I'm
help. I
going
still
to
help.
2028.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it this year. But I got elected 2020 and 2016 I was there. But it's a great experience, and I should tell everybody it's something you want to put on your bucket list because you see so much. You're part of a big deal for Arizona and for the Republican Party. So look at all the swag you get. And,
Do you guys wish that Biden had dropped out beforehand so you could talk Kamala at the? There's not much to talk.
I think the focus when we were there was the president after what happened, and I think the environment and the energy was surreal. Everybody was for President Trump.
Historic,
Everybody, it was
Jeremiah
to see
said.
him walk out, come out when he's for the first time,
Right.
Because he came out on Monday, and usually I don't know if they come every single day, but he came on Monday, the first day.
I believe that was his first live appearance.
Yeah.
Right.
People, you can see the tears. And
Yeah, people were.
It was very moving it was moving for me too. I mean, it was very you just saw a man who literally took a bullet for what we believe in. It's
if you wouldn't have turned a millisecond, it would have gone right through his head.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
It
he's
could have been a
lucky.
much different.
It could have been a
but
completely
for God's hand on the situation.
Exactly. It could have been a completely different environment, different it could have been a lot worse, but we saw we saw Donald Trump, our future president, literally get saved by God on that day.
Yes.
So it had a different feel the entire time, and I think people knew that.
And then the last day with the convention with the balloons dropping and everything, that's a very cool experience as well. You're there, the balloons are dropping, the music's playing. President Trump gave a phenomenal speech in the very beginning. It was a different President Trump than we're used to seeing, and I think it was great. And then I think at the very end, with the balloons dropping, the music playing, they played can't think of what it was called, but they played that song at the end, and it was pretty moving. Pretty moving. Seeing the balloons drop, all the people excited. We're ready. We left united. A united Republican Party,
That's, as contentious as things have been in the months leading up to it, to know that that's the feeling that the people there felt was united, a united party, is just exactly, what we needed to do was come together after this. So I'm glad to hear it. I'm so glad you guys got to have such a great experience. Thank you for coming and showing off everything that you got. I love the jackets. Love the bag.
I brought the last time I was here. I brought the ones from 2016.
Some
and they were amazing. But this blows it away. And so thank you, people, thank you, Jeremiah, for coming and bringing this, and Nate, thank you, and. Hopefully we'll have you back on our show.
Absolutely.
Talking about the Republican Party and what they're doing and how we're moving, getting ready for the November election. It's going to be great. Again, watch your kids around water. It's very important. Have somebody designated to watch the children around water. Don't leave your kids or pets unattended in vehicles. And thank you again for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
For coming, and you guys had a great experience. I'll be there next time.
Me too. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, we'll maybe put their Twitter handles so that you can ask them any further questions, any kind of follow-up. And thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.